Now, while I am definitely a tractor junkie and I really like spending all my time in the fields, I'm also an organic inspector, so paperwork is kind of my thing. But for many farmers, and a lot of people in general, paperwork is torture. Death by 1,000 little paper cuts. By now, we all know how vitally important good record keeping is for an organic operation. But don't get me wrong, that doesn't make it exciting. And it also doesn't make it any easier. So that means there's a business opportunity for you. Just as we did for the organic agronomy services in the last lesson, we'll run through some of the most common record-keeping, certification, and business services that transitioning and organic farmers are looking for. So let's get started with navigating certification. Knowing where to start and finding and working with a certifier can be a big task. Helping a newly transitioning farmer navigate the certification process will take a big load off their mind. This type of assistance can take many forms. Selecting a certifier, representing the farm in communication with the certifier, writing the farm's application and the organic system plan, establishing protocols and best practices, creating record-keeping systems and templates, on and on. Writing that OSP takes both familiarity with the NOP rule as well as with the forms of the certifier the farmer's using. Being able to effectively navigate the sometimes opaque and wonky process helps a farmer through the certification pipeline, from application to getting that certificate. And remember, certification is an annual process. Can I hear job security? All right, so that work is something a lot of farmers would like someone else to do for them, which means more work for you. Record keeping. And this is something I really think about a lot. Organic agriculture is the only food system we have in America with federally mandated traceability from shelf back to field. This traceability requires enhanced record keeping and record keeping infrastructure. There's a lot to record: planting dates, field activities, organic pest management processes, equipment cleanouts, and seed searches. The process will be new to a lot of farmers, and advisors can either help set up an effective system or even manage those systems themselves. Operations support. No matter the kind of operation, all of farming can feel like spinning a dozen plates in the air at the same time, trying to keep as many things going as possible. And since organic farming is more management intensive and complex than most, say, conventional operations, farmers are often looking to hand off a few of those plates to someone they can trust. Therefore, some growers have ended up hiring full-time operations managers who have organic chops and can be agronomic sounding boards and plan setters on a day-to-day basis. We've followed Michael O'Donnell and farmer Jason Federer throughout this course. Let's hear a little bit more from Michael about the services he provides.
To bring someone in who's got more than just operations experience, and that's not to discount the importance and skill associated with operations, but someone who's looked overall at cropping systems, understands something about the organic marketplace, the regulations, inputs that we can and can't use, some level of systems thinking that I think becomes really important in organic cropping. To be able to step in and assist a farm from that level of decision making and some of the record keeping and things that go with it, really beneficial. For the farm owner, Jason, to have someone who brings some of that knowledge to be able to just soundboard with on a daily basis, to think through those decisions and help inform, bring a different perspective. Even if I'm not necessarily the one ultimately making the decisions, to be able to support the farm owner in that way, be that soundboard, be that maybe somewhat unbiased viewpoint, bring another perspective. I think that that's probably one of the biggest benefits. So that then ties to where we have grain transfer, grain hauling. But overall with the operation, working very hand in hand with Jason, overall in crop planning, sourcing inputs, some grain marketing, and then I take the lead on being the contact with our organic certifier and managing all the paperwork, making sure our organic system plan is up to date, and then I've been developing new record-keeping systems to use here on the farm. I help out when it's all hands on deck, planting season, cultivation season, harvest season. Like everybody on the team, I'm helping with operations. I'm in a tractor, I'm running a tender truck, helping with all those activities because when it's those times, everybody's got to be helping out.
The next kind of support organic farmers are looking for is marketing of those rotational crops. In each agronomic region, there are some staple cash crops that are pretty easy to market. Corn and beans in the Midwest, wheat and barley in the North and West, alfalfa across the board, but especially in horse country in the East. But, as we've firmly established, organic crop rotation needs diversity. With that diversity comes some less common crops. Markets need to be identified and fleshed out before committing resources to growing them. And finding those markets typically means looking for a contract where a farmer is going to commit a certain number of acres, the buyer is going to buy all of the production from those acres, and at a predetermined price. An acreage contract, which is my favorite. This work takes relationships and time, a perfect combination for an expert advisor like you. Even straightforward cash crops. Plenty of farmers don't like marketing those, and many just aren't that great at it. Another thing that some are more than happy to hand off to a paid advisor. So these are just some of the roles that you could be providing as a paid advisor. It's not an exhaustive list, and it's not a prescriptive list either. But one thing I want to stress is, as with any business startup, you're gonna have to figure out how to communicate with farmers the value you bring to them. And so you want to be really considering, where do I actually make a farmer money? How do I give them advice that's going to have a tangible effect on their farm? And spread the word. There are so many opportunities within organics that every personality and every interest has a place. The job is finding the need that you're particularly good at filling. These two lists of possible services are just a solid place to start.